Hello there, Coastal Bend. Meteorologist Carly Smith here. Welcome back to another hot week here in South Texas. It is the hottest time of day right as school is getting out. So remember that for all the kids. Make sure they're staying hydrated. It's going to be really important. 2 to 4 o'clock tends to be when we see the highest heat index and the hottest temperatures, the most dangerous conditions. We've got a few showers possible early this week. We'll talk about why coming up. And Ernesto likely to develop in the Atlantic, and we'll have the latest update there as well. So here's a look outside right now on our tower camera this morning. Look at that, cumulus clouds are out there. It is going to be another hot day. We are talking hot temperatures. We do still have potential tropical cyclone 5 as of the 10:56 update. So it is still not organized enough to become a tropical system. But we are going to get right into this live update. Thank you everyone for watching. Hello, meteorologist Carly Smith here. Thank you again for joining this live update on whichever platform you're watching. Don't forget, we've got free content on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. Just search for 3 News Plus or KIII in those app stores and you'll find it. So we have a lot to talk about in the weather, but also not a lot. Temperature variations not changing much at all. It is overall looking like a pretty boring week when it comes to the weather here in South Texas, but we'll take it, right? So on the tower camera this morning, we do have more wind. So we have more wind today. That is a change in the forecast. 88 degrees right now. Feels like it's 103 already here at 10 a.m. For your back to school forecast, high temperature, so your air temperature, 96. It's going to feel like 110 to 113 all week long. We do have a decent shot at a few showers today and tomorrow. That's why our temperatures are going to be just a tad cooler, but Wednesday's just looking humid and hot. So here's where we have a chance of rain. We've got this upper level energy. Now that doesn't always translate very well down at the surface, but the upper level energy is there. What happened is a cold front weekend. We got a little spin up in the Gulf of Mexico, and the high pressure is pushing it into Texas. And so, yes, we have a chance for some rain. It doesn't look like much. And then we also are watching that tropical system in the Atlantic. So this is now Thursday, Friday. This is the second half of the week. High pressure dominating over South Texas. So guess what? It's going to get hotter here. But also we've got what will likely be a hurricane, Ernesto, interacting with the trough. That's that downhill slope in the jet stream. That's where our steering winds are, around the edges of the high pressure and up into those troughs. Hurricanes or tropical systems, they are attracted to the low pressure. So it's going to go where the pressure is lower, not where the pressure is higher. And that's where it would thrive. So that's why we're pretty confident in the turn to the north with what is known as potential tropical cyclone 5. So this is our 5th potential tropical cyclone, and it's named that because it will impact land, likely with tropical storm force conditions within 48 hours. And so when we take a closer look at this storm, this is the only system we're watching in the Atlantic right now. You see it doesn't have a well-developed center. It's getting close. It's getting really close there to being a center, but then you see it becomes a little bit more lopsided once again as we get closer to the 8, 9, 10 o'clock hours. So that's what we're keeping an eye on. We do have tropical storm warnings now in place across all of those northern Caribbean islands. This is the Windward or the Leeward Islands, and it is including the Virgin Islands. Additionally, it's including Puerto Rico. So a lot of interest in these islands where we are anticipating tropical storm force conditions. Mudslides, heavy rainfall will accompany this storm across that northeastern Caribbean. As it moves north, we are going to see Category 1, 2 hurricane possible as it approaches Bermuda in the Atlantic. So this is the latest forecast cone that was actually just issued. It says 8 a.m., but it was 10 a.m. On our marine forecast here locally, barely any waves. So we're talking maybe some 2-foot waves, and that's because of that low that's developed in the Gulf of Mexico. So that's going to mix things up out in the Gulf and just try to send us a little bit of wave action. Also, our winds a little bit higher. We're talking 10 to 15 knots. We've been closer to 5 to 10 knots. So a little bit more conditions. Our tides are getting higher. So we're getting closer to our more typical tides here in the coastal bend. We've been running pretty low. So the Port A tide forecast is 1.8 tonight. But that high tide isn't until 2 a.m. Packery Channel high tide happened this morning. North Beach happened this morning. So now we're going to be approaching low tide. But enjoy these conditions. They're still not bad. Just a slight chop out there if you're not headed back to school. So wave height forecast, what we see is still a chance for some 2-foot waves, it looks like on Tuesday, but it's not a great chance. Our periods are still only about 4 or 5 seconds, so nothing too impressive. We still have a chance for some 2-foot waves as we head into Wednesday, Thursday, but it's going to be out in the Atlantic where you see the bigger wave action associated with what will likely become Ernesto, and that's going to create a high surf and a high rip current risk along the East Coast. Rip currents are now the #2 killer when it comes to tropical systems because you think, oh, the beach is safe. There's no tropical storm. There's no hurricane coming here. But the beach is swell generated from that hurricane that travels away from the hurricane, and it can be very dangerous if you are getting in the water and you're not aware of what's going on. So that's the East Coast, though. Thankfully not here. We're not dealing with those extreme conditions. So that's a positive thing. We'll take it, right? Here's a look at our 7-day forecast. We do have a slight chance of rain. That's from that upper level energy. It's not going to add up to much, though, unfortunately. We're talking 20-30%, some spotty showers. We saw one right over the new elementary school, Creekside, this morning. One of those popped up. So a few showers in the morning, a few showers in the afternoon, thanks to the sea breeze. The morning showers will be along the coastline. Temperatures holding pretty steady. I think they'll stay closer to the mid-90s today, tomorrow, Wednesday, with a little bit more cloud coverage from that low. But as high pressure builds and we see more sunshine, temperatures are only going to get hotter into the weekend. So that's all I have for this update. I'm meteorologist Carly Smith. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Marianne. What's up? Southside near Weber. Good morning, Mario. Good morning, Yolanda. Marianne says no more rain because that brings the mosquitoes. That is a fair point. I have felt like the mosquitoes have calmed down a bit. So they don't like heat, they don't like wind. We've had some light wind. We've picked the wind up at least a little bit. So yeah, I agree with that. But that's all I have for this live update. Thank you again, everyone, for watching. I hope you have a wonderful week. If your kids have gone back to school, I hope they enjoy it and they learn a lot this year. And the sun, it's going to continue to come out and continue to make us pretty hot out here. Thanks, y'all.